Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wednesday Call Live, filmed in beautiful Burlington, North Carolina, in front of a live studio audience. Let's hear it for today's special guest host, Andy Riddle!
All right. All right. Up here in the house that Andy built, the other Andy. So it's just awesome. It's always cool to get an introduction from Billy like that, and then having all you guys scream up there. I recommend everyone out there to get to a situation where you can come up and host a TWC like this. It's such an honor for Andy and Jane to ask me to come up here and do this, and it's not one I take lightly. So been sitting with Jeff Wright this morning, get my mind right for a couple hours. So he got me learned, Terry. He got me learned. Yeah. So as normal, we start out with some leaderboards. So they got one up here for me already. This is the 90-day Foresters drag race. And my good buddy Joe Dukes is out there in the front. And this is the tricky one that Andy talks about, because it's the one where rookies and pros can knock veterans down. Yeah. So like the top 20 veterans go. But if you count it over here, there's only 18 veterans. And you say, what happened? Well, Marcus and Jake and Vray kind of made a few of the veterans mad and knocked them out. Let's see who that is. It better not be you, Terry. Joe and Tony Walker and Junior Korea. So they're bumped out by these two. So it's like when you're a veteran, it's kind of like if you play sports. It's like if you're on the JV basketball team and they bring you up to the varsity, that's okay. But you just took a spot from a varsity guy. But that varsity guy doesn't go back down to the JV because he's kind of like too old and all that stuff. So you notice like Junior and Joe didn't bump down to the pro division. And these pros are getting beat up. I mean, look at all these rookies taking the pros out. I mean, what in the world? So DJ is up leading the pros out there in Alaska. It's crazy. DJ's everywhere. Every time I'm on something that like he's out there all by himself in Alaska, but he keeps it so he's not by himself, because every time I go do a meeting or something and he's like popping in, listening in, figuring out a way to beat. He's in Alaska, but he's in the meeting too. It's like the weirdest thing, but he's in every one of them. It's crazy. So being a part of it. So you just got this, and then you get down to the rookies, the 10 rookies, and then we get back down to these guys that have just got bumped. Technically, all you guys are getting bumped down here. We don't need to look at them. So, in some way, you know what I mean? You're getting bumped by something. So it is a 90-day contest. We're about halfway through it, just so the guys that aren't getting bumped, it's that fourth quarter is coming up, Terry. Yeah. It's time to put the ball in the hoop. You know what I mean? So how do I switch this thing to the next one? This thing? Whew. Oh. Yeah. All right. Yeah. This is the 20 to 30K Fanatics. The contest runs for the month of February. Andy gives out $1,000 for the ones over $30,000 in a month. Dr. Phil Hebert is up there in first with $25,000. Jonathan and Megan Yankee in second. Caleb's in third. Keep going down. It keeps going. But all these guys, this one's through the 15th, so we're halfway through the month. So if they keep the pace from here up, should get $1,000. Eric and Bobby, if Eric keeps that same pace up, Bobby, just so you know, if he keeps that same pace up, you miss $1,000 by like $100. Shoot. I told Bobby that just so she'll get Eric going a little harder. But yeah, you just miss it. It's actually like $80, Bobby, just so you know, if he keeps the exact same pace up. Just so you know. Not to get a calculator out or anything, but just looking at it. Going through here, but just crazy stuff. The halfway through a month, how many people we already have over 10,000. The 10,000 lines down here, 31 over 10,000 halfway through the month to get to the 20,000, and just a lot of names on here. And another great contest that Andy continues to motivate people to get out there and do the do from there. So what's the next one we got? All right. Personal direct recruits. Kyle, you want to come help me with this one? I mean, if you just want to read off some of these names, it'd be cool. My good buddy's in here. Kyle's in here. So I'm in first. I'm kind of disappointed I haven't doubled everyone up yet. That'll have to happen soon enough. Kyle's in second. Tawny in third. She's comfortable there. Terry, you're in fourth, man. Yeah. We got to figure out how to get you in front of those other two. Yeah. Huh? You talking trash to you? You know, Terry, it would be cool if we finished 1 and 2.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Me one and you
We all have dreams. Yeah, we all have dreams. So, Diane Lampy was talking some trash early in the month. I remember that. She's on here. Janina's on here. Just crazy stuff, but just winning. If you notice this, if the contest was to end today, this is the prize money you'd give out. And if you add this up, look how much the money goes to. All the way down, all the way down, all the way down. The Yankees, Jonathan and Megan get sticky notes right now. That's cool. You can never have enough sticky notes. So, Jonathan, Megan, my friends. They're winning one of the other ones, but they're sticky notes in this one. I guess you win sticky notes. So, just there. But 50 people. 50 people. And right now it's only taking one recruit to be in the 50th spot. Two recruits get you in the 46th spot and move through there. So this is wide open. And this goes all the way through up to family reunion. So you got plenty of time to get in there. Terry, you got plenty of time to get second. And we can get that done. So going through there, that's another one. Another great contest to do where Andy's giving out $10,000. There's another contest that goes with it with all the recruits that you bring in that actually show up to family reunion too. It's the same prize money off the numbers that you finish there. So I would recommend if you want to be high on the list of that contest, get a lot of new recruits. It's hard to have a lot of new people show up if you don't have a lot of new people. It's just kind of how that works. Yeah. So the mathematics behind it is the more new people you have, the better shot you have to have more people show up. If you have no new people, you can't win that contest. Right. Just so you're aware. It's kind of like fixed for that. And this is kind of like here, like if you win this one here and you win $10,000, you've kind of got an advantage for the other one as well. So I like playing to the advantages. So my plan isn't just to win, it's to win big. You know, we did a recruiting contest that was like a year and a half ago at family reunion, and it came down very close, and I don't plan on it to be that close this time, just so you guys are prepared. So had me like sweating. So in there. All right, Power of 10. This is one of my favorite ones, and it has the 10 people. The Power of 10. It's their first 10 applications. They've not only submitted, they've had issue paid 10 applications with us. I recommend doing it very fast. We have 5 new ones this week, so they're up here. We have Patricia, Benita, Rebecca, Edwards, and Brad all up there with the Power of 10 to continue to find people to get out there and do applications quickly and do it. This is one of my favorite reports. I think this is important as you start recruiting and bringing on teams and helping people to get successful. It's one thing to get them to, it's one thing to get them licensed. It's another thing to get them to write 1 piece of business. It's another thing to get them to 3 pieces of business. When you start getting them to 10 pieces of business very quickly, they stick around for a long time. And so it's one of my favorite ones that we track a lot to do there. The managers for the month, Diane leads with 2 for this month. So far, everyone else is tied for second. And this report in there, I don't like that I'm tied for second. So we got some work to do. The Rolex contest. Who wants a Rolex? Terry, now if you win it, are you getting a Rolex? Tia gets it? Okay. Smart man. Smart man. So, but here's the Rolex contest. The people there, Brandon and Ashley out in California. Right now, they get to pick the first one. Branton Gell, Joe Dukes, Megan White, Jonathan Yankee, and Megan Yankee, Rob Wilson, Katrina Gustafson, Jeremy Patton, Jan Miller, Marcus Richardson, Mark Hutchinson, Dr. Phil Aber, and Carrie and Mike Williams are the ones in there right now. I will tell you, if you can come and see all the Rolex watches selected, I would recommend finishing first because there's one that's valued a lot more than the rest of them. Now, I'm not saying if it was to end today, Brandon and Ashley may not pick that one, but I wouldn't leave it to chance if that's the one you want. So Brant and Gell, if you want that one, I would recommend passing them. Just the chance that they don't take it is kind of like one of those ones is like, I hope they don't take the one with all the diamonds on it. You know what I mean? It's like the diamonds are there. Like people usually grab the flashy, like sparkly one. So even by accident, that's hard to pass up because you're like looking over like, whoa, that one's shiny. I'll take that one. You know what I mean? It's like the shiny one. So, all right. F&G contest. Top 12 producers, top 9 veterans, 3 rookies in the category. The rookies can knock out veterans. So you go through here. It doesn't look like any rookies are knocking out veterans currently, but it's just through F&G, another contest that they have going on with F&G. Ton of contests going on right now, guys. I recommend just winning some. I mean, start with winning something. You know what I mean? Win something. There's so many out there, you got to win something. So personal production, Thailand, Brandon and Ashley have already qualified. Brant and Gell are getting really, really close to qualifying. Joe Dukes is basically halfway there, a month and a half in. Megan White right there as well. The Yankees again, right, getting up there. Rob Wilson. So you have that contest there also. So just a bunch of contests. Thailand's going to be nuts. They actually sent us out the information for our cruise that we need to respond by the end of the week to make sure we can go on the cruise. From last year's contest, Thailand's is going to even be crazier. Just get out there, qualify for it. Get with your manager. We actually did a thing for new agents last night in Greensboro. If you started today and you hit the bonus points that they're giving out and you hit all the bonus points throughout the year, you only have to write $6,500 a month issue paid every month to qualify still. So it's just one of those things that's crazy if you show people how to get bonus points, help them get the bonus points, lead them to get the bonus points, and then go out there and write some business. It's not as, sometimes when you look at the 25K as a new person, it's like, wow, that's a big number, that's hard to hit. When I break it down to 6,500 every single month, it's like, I can do that. Heck, I could do that. So you can do it. So the West Coast Recruiting Contest, this is the contest. I can't, they don't even let me participate in it. I wish, I was trying to think of stuff to send to Andy Terry. Be like, hey, if I buy a house out there, can I be in this one? If I only count my recruits on the West Coast, can I count them in that one? I don't know. Right now, Jason and Tawny are winning this contest out west. Diane Lampy is winning the Texas, so they have the one person in Texas, the top one in Texas wins it because that's where they stop and put more gas in the plane, so they pick somebody else up. Diane right now is winning that one. Brandon and Ashley are in second place for the West Coast one, third place total, and then Diana M. and Jason and Carrie's team at 5. So right now to be in the contest, to fly to family reunion on Andy's jet, right now it's 5, but there's a bunch of people challenging to get into that, to take that flight on Andy's jet, and that is nuts. To fly private from Las Vegas to Burlington is much better than flying commercial. I will tell you that from there. So these are the contests. They're just fun things to do, but they get you out there to go through the contest to make you successful. And Andy teaches you. He always talks about it tricks you into being successful. It tricks you into making money. It tricks you into doing this. It's these contests by going out there and winning them, and people start figuring out if I start winning contests, these other things start happening in my life, and it builds your confidence and stuff in the business to do it. So I always love leaderboards because it's motivating me to do better when I'm first and continue to win. And the ones I'm not in, I'm like, what am I doing wrong to figure out what I need to do to win? And it's where you are at in these contests is figuring out that. And at the same time, it's helping you become more successful in this business. They're all driven back to the overall concept of what we're trying to accomplish here. And it's putting everything into perspective to do it. So, cool. Well, those are the contests. I won't talk too much trash, Tawny. Tawny carries like she gets beat up by me, I think, too much, so I got to be nice. So I don't know. I like talking trash, Terry. Yeah, you do. A little bit. So cool. So today, I was sitting with Jeff Bright this morning. We're talking a little bit. We're talking out of this book, First Thing First, by Stephen Covey, a book that he wrote, and there's a part in the book that's talking about to light the flame inside of you, to get the flame inside of you to really just to go all out, to do the do, to get fanatical. What's that flame? How do you light that flame inside of you? And what's it take to light that flame inside of you? And I was sitting with Jeff this morning, and we're talking about that, and I'm like, Jeff, the flame's inside of me, but I'm not even sure how it got lit. You know what I mean? Like what it was. So we talked this morning, went through these points through this book, and we talked about these. What Jeff kind of told me is like, so every one of you, everyone in this audience, everyone watching it on TV today, you have this gas like in your inside. You have this inside of you. If you say, well, I just don't feel like I have a flame burning in me and stuff, you have the gas to have that flame go. And Jeff explained it like in his house, he has a gas fireplace, and the gas is always there. But when the flame starts going, he presses a button, and then the poof, it ignites the whole flame, and it starts going. So we're looking at what's going to ignite the gas inside of you. You have it there. Everyone has it there. What do we have to do to ignite it? And in the book, First Thing First, they talk about these 4 buttons that you have to press to light that flame inside of you. And when I first saw this, I was like, I didn't need these 4 buttons pressed to figure out what my flame is inside of me. And then after sitting down and actually reading it, understanding it, and studying it, I was like, these 4 buttons were pressed, and I just didn't know I pressed them. And that's what lit the flame. So Jeff was telling me this morning, if you know what buttons you need to press and how to do them, you may press them faster. Instead of just trying to figure out, and all through trial and error, trying to figure out what it is. So we're trying to get to here, the fire inside of you. So I think I can write on this thing. This is what we want to get that fire ignited. So the first one we have is the physical. So the physical is necessary basic needs. So necessary basic needs. I was clueless when I read this. I was like, I don't even understand what that is. And so it's to have the basics. It's to have food in your belly. It's to have a house to go home to. It's to have lights on. Some people like air conditioning. Up here, it's supposed to snow tomorrow, so you guys would probably like to have heat in your house. I think that would probably be recommended tomorrow. Those things are the basic needs that you have to have. And the protection part of here is the safety, is to have the safety. So when you have your basic needs met and you feel safe in what you have stability. It's how you are. And without having those basic needs checked, it's almost impossible to even hit the other buttons. It's like if you're wondering where your next meal's coming from, it's hard to start worrying about this stuff or any of the other stuff. If you're worried about being behind on, your mortgage or your rent, and you're like, I'm worried about getting evicted, you need to get this straightened out first. And the way you straighten it out is, Andy's been talking a lot about a full-time job with us is 20 appointments. Right. It's getting those 20 appointments to do this. It's getting the 20 appointments. You go out there and run the 20 appointments and work 40 hours a week and do that, your basic needs will be covered. This is one of those boxes that will be protected. You'll be safety. The safety will be there. You will have security. You'll have the safety because you're not worried about that stuff anymore. So the first thing is to get this box checked. And you want to get that box pushed and checked, and where you have that security and safety. Because a lot of times what happens is if I'm worried about where my next meal is and I haven't eaten in 2 days, I can be telling you about how motivating it's going to be, how great it's going to be when we walk the beaches of the world. It's going to be awesome being in Thailand, but all you're thinking about is I'm hungry. Right. And it's like having a hand right in front of your face, and I'm just telling you to look around it, and you can't because it's so close to your face. That's all you see is your hand. It's getting that basic needs that what you require as a person to survive. You're in survival mode. That's all you're worried about. So it's getting that button pressed. It's getting the security of that. It's having the security of that. This next one is the social. It's the acceptance or liked, to be liked. And then it has also you want to be loved. And sitting with Jeff this morning, he broke this down to me. These are like your feelings. These two are the feelings of marriage. So you got the feeling marries these two together. It bridges those two together. And so it's kind of funny because when Jeff's an otter, and with the animal test that he does, we're walking through it, and otters need this. They need likes. They need likes. I'm a lion. I need likes too. I just need a like from like people that are important to me in my life, like mentors in my life. Like I want certain people to like me. Okay, mine might be one or two. You otters out there may need like 1,000. Okay, but it's getting that social likeness. Now the loved is you need love as well, and it's having the love to go out there and do those things through the likes and the love. And again, the line, we need to be loved. Like I know my mom loves me. Okay, so I have that one checked. Golden retrievers need to have the feeling that there's a lot more than just one person loves them. But it's getting those box checked for there to create your identity or who you are. Okay, so backing up to the acceptance of likes. If you think about it, when I think about it as an ex-athlete and playing sports and stuff, if we went out to the playground today and we were picking teams on who's going to be on what team, being liked is you always want to be not the last one picked, or not picked at all. Right. You want to make sure you're picked, and it's getting those likes. And like people get it confused with social media today. They go on social media, they take pictures in front of fancy cars, fancy houses like it's theirs, and they get all these likes, and they're relying on those likes as actual things, but that's almost like a pump fake or a fake like. Right. It's not having the likes to do this, and it's getting that acceptance to go through it. But it's getting the likes in the aspects of that you're fitting in. It's to find the way to fit in through your likes. And it's to find the way to find that social acceptance. And depending on what it is, but it's really just understanding that you have to get comfortable with you and like you. We talked about it on the activity call last Friday. One of the three things that you have to, in the world is you have to have is you can't rely on other people to make you happy. It's no one's job here to make you happy. You have to find your inner happiness, and you have to get comfortable with the likes that you have and get comfortable with you and have that inner happiness to get your identity of who you are. Through the affection of love, I was actually listening to a thing the other day. It was Kobe Bryant was doing an interview, and they were going back and talking to him about some of the things in his life. And early in age, when he started playing basketball, he's playing in a summer league, and he went through the entire summer and never scored a point. He said, I didn't score a basket, I didn't make a foul shot, I didn't score a point the whole summer. And he went to his dad, whose dad was a professional basketball player before, so think of the expectations there. And he was like crying to his dad. He goes, I don't understand, I didn't even score a point the entire summer. And his dad said to him, Kobe, it doesn't matter what you did out there, regardless, I still love you. And it's knowing that you have that love. And Kobe said when he got that love from his dad, it gave him permission that it's okay to go out there and fail. It's when you accept that you know that you are loved that you can go out there and fail. You can put it on the line. You can go out there and fight for what it is that you want to create that identity and get that approval. This is the part where you hear Tim Go talk about that you matter. It's the understanding that you do matter regardless of the other stuff. It's for us, when I was talking to Jeff earlier this morning, in the lion aspects of the way I look at it, I thought, when I'm thinking of this way, I almost think that everyone thinks this way, but it's not. It's just more the lions, I guess, think this way, is I really don't give a whole lot of crap about what other people like me or love me as long as I know the couple that like me and love me do. You know what I mean? It's like I have the confidence that Andy and Jane Albright love me, and they have this respect for me and stuff to do that. I don't worry about what the person on Facebook posts about me. You know what I mean? And it's knowing that you have out there and having that identity that you have in yourself, that confidence that you matter and you matter to the right people. And you're out there chasing for what the right people and understanding the matter of that. So once you get that one checked, and you want to get this one checked quick, because that's when you kind of, you hear Andy talk about you can't feel your way into doing, but you can do your way into a feeling. This is telling you almost have to get your feelings to go to do, but I think you can switch it around and do your way into the feeling. And it's understanding that I think a big part of that is knowing that no one's placed on this earth to make you feel good. It's not their job. Get yourself right and get your identity. Know who you are. Know what you're going out there to do. Know who you're going out there to perform for and what you're going to do to get you right to move into the next one. The next one here, mentality. So for respect. Respect is huge. So we were Jeff was talking about in otters, respect is very important to them. And they're out there, so they like the likes. They're looking for likes to create respect. It's almost like a lot of times in respect, people are looking for like that popularity contest, in that aspect to get respects. Me being more of a lion, I build my confidence by doing the do, like going out there and do it. I don't have to be competent to do it. I actually gain my competence by doing it. Otters are different. They need the popularity and do it the opposite way, which is the same. But what comes into this one is that scary word. Ego. This is everyone's ego button to tap. This is the do. The do is what bridges these two together. That's the plus. The do bridges these together to give you meaning or what you are or what meaning you have to do. And you fall into stuff. And it's knowing that you are enough and you have enough to do that. So building that respect or building the competence, if you ever go out there and you have a new agent say to you, Terry, it's like, I just want to learn all the products. I need to know. What they're saying is they need to understand that stuff first before they do. So it's giving them those tools to go get that quickly so they can build that respect in their head to go out there and build the confidence to go out there, which is the maturity. And it's how you deal with stuff and go through things. And then there's coping mechanisms that we all have inside of that to create this stuff. One of my coping mechanisms is go out there and work harder. So if I go out and underperform or underdo and don't do well enough, I go out there and over-prepare and do more and try to continue to do more. But that's my coping mechanism. The reason I do that is it's worked in the past for me with other stuff. So Jeff was saying there's other people that go out there that need to sit in a quiet place, do yoga, do whatever it is, because that has worked for them before to give them a result. It's their coping mechanisms to build that confidence. And build that confidence through it and knowing that they're doing it. But building your confidence in that sense, it's like me and Jeff met, we set a time this morning that we're going to get in his office, go over some stuff and meet, and we both were there early. So we started early. But it's knowing that it's building the confidence in yourself. I just really think it's who you are. And it's self-confidence. It's building that self-confidence. So I think the first thing to build your self-confidence or have that is start the stuff that you tell yourself internally that you're going to do, you do it. Okay? So we said it, me and Jeff both were there early because we both set our confidence that we were going to meet at that time, and we showed up early or even on time. And we had the confidence. I had the confidence that when I got there, Jeff would be there. And I hope Jeff had the same confidence in me that since we set a time that he knew I'd be there when we said I'd be there. And it's setting that stuff. It's saying to myself, I'm going to be there on time. I'm going to be there at that time and be there. It's saying you're going to get up in the morning at this time and you get up in the morning and do that. It's start telling yourself the things that you tell yourself that you're going to do and follow through on it. Building that self-confidence, understanding the trust that you have in yourself, building that moral authority that you have. As we go out there and sell life insurance to people, one of the things of moral authority is, do you have a policy on yourself? Like how do you go out there and sell something that you can't even sell to yourself? It's having that moral authority, that confidence in following through what you're going to do. It's an action. It's driven by action. So action drives this. Again, going back to doing the do. And it's building this respect and the things to go through here to continue to build that and spark the flame inside of you. And then the fourth box is the spiritual, and it's your capacity. And so the capacity part is your abundance mentality. And the abundance mentality is, it actually bridges from competency. So these two bridge across each other there. So as you get competency and you get there, it builds the capacity or the abundance mentality. Abundance mentality of being the best that you can be. You know, once you have the capacity that you understand what you're doing, it's building the capacity to go. A lot of times when you're trying to build the capacity, it's understanding that you want to challenge yourself to see how great you can become in something, in what you're wanting to do. You'll hear people say, there's not enough time in the day to do things. You got so much going. You're pushing yourself to continue. It's like, I got a stack of books. I got to get through all these quick. Like, there's not enough time in the day to learn all the material in the one day. So you got to start knocking them down, getting through that stuff. You're trying to have that abundance mentality. To have it, you continue to grow and go through it. And then it's building the credibility with having the credibility, but the credibility comes from confidence. So it bridges over here. So you gap these two together here, but it goes through there. And it's to have integrity, credibility. It's what you do is who you are. It's one thing to go out there. It's like credibility takes a lifetime to build, but it takes one bad action to lose. And it's knowing that you go out there to have integrity and do it, which gives you the purpose of why you're doing it. And so when you check all these boxes off, you're stroking the fire within. You're stroking that fire to get going for you. So to think about these things and to kind of go back, I wish I didn't put the big X's on these ones. See if I can erase them. Whatever. I'll screw it up somehow. So to go through them and to spark the gas that you're looking to do from first thing first, and spark everything that you're looking to go through. It's knowing what you need to do for each one. So in the basics of what we do is building the basics of the 20 appointments. You know, if you want to work overtime, go out there and run 25. If you want to get fanatical, doing 30. And it's knowing the basics of the aspects of breaking that down to handle that box, to check that box. So it's one thing to go out there and say, what's it take to get 20 appointments? You can say, I'm going to run 20 appointments this week. Well, if you open up your activity book, like on the third page in, there's a chart that tells you, breaks down what 20 appointments looks like. Okay? It tells you 250 dials. You're going to have 28 contacts. Out of those 28 contacts, you're going to book 20 appointments. Off those 20 appointments, you're going to sit with 16. Off those 16, you're going to sell 7 or 8. And you're going to bring in an income off those ones of about $3,000 to $5,000 actual money going into your pocket after the lead cost and everything's backed out of that, to build that aspects of this here as your full-time job. You have to take care of this. It's understanding that you have to take care of this. And it's one of those things that's some point times in life we take that for granted, thinking that it's just taken care of and not putting the actions into. This is the one I think people get, it sneaks up on them. It's like, oh gosh, yeah, it's like, whew, where'd that go? You know what I mean? It's taking the foot off the gas for a little bit, not doing what you're supposed to do, not running the 20 appointments a week, not going out there and putting in the activity consistently. It's the consistent activity of doing your job. It's the consistent activity of the 40 hours a week work week for that, just the 20 appointments. And it's breaking it down to the simplicity of doing the $250 dials every single week. And having in your schedule the time to make 250 dials. You know, to do 250 dials is probably about 8 hours of dial time. If you only have 3 hours of dial time in your schedule, guess what? It's going to be hard to do. 250 dials. Right. And it's going to snowball through your week. And if you consistently accept the aspects to allow that to happen, it sneaks up on you. Right. It's like, how'd I get here? Because you've been telling yourself, I do 20 appointments a week, but your activities say differently. You do it once out of the month, out of the 4 weeks, but the other 3 weeks you're not. It's the consistent activity to get this button checked so you don't have to worry about it. So you have the stability of income coming in every single week, the stability of the income to fund to keep your business rolling, the stability to have it so you can fund your side hustle, the ability to go out there and continue to do this. And I'm telling you guys, when I was early in this business and I was funding my business in the sense that I was out there running my appointments to create that the basics, the safety and the basics in my life. There was days where you went through it and you would question, is it worth it? You know, I remember driving back from Tampa, doing meetings and running appointments down there, and I would say to myself, is this worth it? Is it worth it to continue to drive to this? Is it continue to fight through this pain that I'm feeling right now? Is it worth that aspect? And I'm telling you, it's one of those things when you have something driving to do it, it's when I go back to the basics of the aspects that this was my second chance. Okay, so when I grew up, I wanted to be the point guard of the New York Knicks. And it wasn't just a dream. It was one of those things I actually had tried to do. You know, I actually spent money as a kid. I would get money so I could go to camps, get money so I could do travel league basketball. I'd do things and do all this stuff. I was actually trying to accomplish that dream. It's understanding the dream. That was my dream that I pushed through to do. When I went into corporate America, I found that corporate America just kept pulling me down and putting me into what the lifestyle that I think corporate America wants you to have. It's just you have that job, you come in every single day, you do your work, and they create this thing called a work-life balance. Like you work and then you go home and have this life, and you have two different lives, and people make millions of dollars trying to explain how you balance those two things. But I'll tell you right now, you don't have two different lives. You have one life. And you're living the one life in that aspect. And it's understanding that you have to create this aspect and understanding that's there. When I would drive back from Tampa, just not sure what I was going to do next, not sure if we were going to have the money coming in for the bills, not sure of this. And I'm saying, is it worth all this pain? My option was to go back to the life that I hated. Because at that point in my life, when I was at corporate America, financially, I was taking care of this. Financially, I was living a lifestyle that I could fund this part. But what I wasn't living was I was not living that lifestyle where I could see my kids. I was becoming that father I never wanted to be. Like the father that was funding it but not participating in it. And I wanted to participate in it. So when I started to think of this, is it worth the fight and the struggles to go out there and do what I need to do, create that income? And even though I got told no this week, or even though I didn't have the sales I want to do, was it worth to go fight for that, not to have to go back to what I was in? Because what I knew when I went back, if I was going back to that job, if I took that job back, I went back to selling my dream of having time with my kids. So it's like, is it worth taking this battle on and doing 250 dials to get your 20 appointments every week? Or even if it's $500 it takes you to get your 20 appointments a week, is it worth that battle? Do you know what you're trying to keep yourself from? Because I was not going back to that. So all I had to do is remind myself. I used to trick myself, Terry. I used to drive into the office during rush hour times, and I was like, I ain't dealing with this every day. Like, because when I'm self-employed, I can go earlier or later or whatever and miss those traffic things. It's like, Dave, heck, driving up to Greensboro yesterday, I had to leave during that rush hour stuff. I was like, what in the world? So, but it's knowing that you don't. It's more. For me, it was more knowing that I didn't want that life back. Because even though this box was checked in corporate America, the other boxes would never have been checked, and my actions and the way I felt from that was not what I wanted. And I can tell you, going through that aspects and learning how to get results, learning how to run enough appointments, learning to bring that income in consistently, learning to fight through that pain makes it so much easier. It actually gets you down here to where that's maturity. Oops. And the confidence. It's building that confidence to fight through this that you can do it. And you start building that confidence to say, so when I look at this, with my confidence is where it's at now, I'm not worried about this. So if something bad happens financially in my business, I know how to go out, because I have the confidence, I can know how to create this stability, this safety for my family. And I know I'll do, because I have the maturity to do it, and I'm going to go out there and do it, and I'm going to continue to have that confidence to where I'll go back there and always make sure that box is checked. And it's one of the things that you're learning when you go through this is when you're driving and you're wondering if it's worth it, you're trying to build that confidence. You're trying to build that confidence in you that you will do what you say you do, no matter what obstacles get in your way, what it's going to take for you to go out there and be successful and continue to go out there and build that stability and those basics and give them to you for what your basics are, your family's basics are, making sure that box is checked from there. And then if we go back to this, so once we have that box checked, you go over here and it's the feelings of acceptance. And it's having that feelings of having that acceptance and love from what you do. You know, it's one of the questions I get asked a lot is how do you do this business and manage your business with your kids and manage your life with your kids and give that thing. Like, I have zero worry in my life that my kids love me. And I think a lot of that is because I've always created this safety for them. And I have the confidence that I'm going to create this safety so in return that they have the love for me. But keep in mind, creating this love and this affection and stuff that you have, like I know my mom loves me. I probably don't, if some people say you don't spend enough time with her, and I can say I agree, I probably don't, okay? But I do know she loves me and she's super proud of me because of what she sees me going out there to do inside of my purpose. And it's funny, I guarantee she makes more comments of how proud and how much she loves me than she does to my other brothers. And I'm not saying she loves me more than them. She sees me fighting my fight and winning. She sees me going out there and continuing to do that stuff. My kids continue. So the ones that I want to like me and the ones I want to love me are the ones that I'm fighting to impress. It's not fighting for those guys out there. When I played basketball, you go to a game and you have all the fans cheering for you and it feels great and it's part of the fun of the game and the doing that stuff to get those likes and having that aspects. Trust me, everyone likes that, but there's always that one or two people in the stands that I was actually performing for. You know what I mean? It's like I knew where so-and-so was sitting. You know what I mean? I wasn't concentrated the whole game, but I was like, when we came out and we were getting ready to go, it's like they're there. That's where my mind is. So it's knowing in your day, who are you performing for? You know what I mean? What am I doing? Where's that person in the stands? And what am I doing to perform for that person today? What am I doing today to do that? And then when you wake up tomorrow, what are you doing to perform for that person? They're in the stands every day for you. They're there for you to do it, and it's building that identity of who you are. You're going out there and fighting to build that identity for those people. Stop caring about those people that don't matter. It's like when you go to the movie theaters, who sits there and watches all the credits? You know what I mean? You watch all the credits? Are you more impressed with the beginning of the credits than the later part of the credits? So if you're performing, are you more wanting to perform for the people at the top of the credits or the one down there? Are you important? As the person that doesn't even have a name in the movie, they have to describe them as like cab driver number 2. Are you worried about the likes of cab driver number 2 to motivate you to do something? Or are you more worried about the star characters in your life that you're trying to go perform for every day? Stop worrying about cab driver number 2. Because guess what? When something happens in your life, good or bad, guess who's not showing up? That's right, Terry. Cab driver number 2 is not showing up. No. And you want to perform. The Andy and Jane Albrights in my life, everything good that's happened, they've been there. Everything bad that's happened, they've been there. That's who I perform for. That's who I fight for. My kids, there when it's good, there when it's bad. That's who I fight for. These people that make comments on Facebook, on whatever post I put, I don't even care. Good, bad, it's like, who are you? You're cab driver number 2. Don't matter. Stop worrying about this. Stop worrying about your feelings in the sense of what cab driver number 2 says. Your feelings do matter. Your feelings about what everyone feels about you do not. Perform for who's important for you in your life. Get that approval from who you want to do. Get that and know who they are. Know who loves you. Know who likes you. Know who's in your corner. Who's there for you. So you know who to perform for. Who you need to fall back on when you need to. Having that identity and stop worrying about stuff. that other people say. I was actually listening to this one, I guess you would call them influencer, and they were talking about like they give advice, or people always feel like they should reach out to them for advice. And someone asked them like a personal question, like what would you do and stuff like that. And they said they didn't respond this way, but they wanted to. They'd say, stop asking people online for advice that you have no idea who they are.
Right.
Stop looking for your answers from people that are cab driver number 2 in your life. Who it is. Look for the people. Get the answers from where you got to go. Get the answer. Get the likes. Get the loves from those people there, from that aspect. Continue to do this. This is important. But you have to have it. Don't live in that spot. It feels good to be there. You know what I mean? It feels good when you run out in a basketball game and there's thousands of people cheering for you. That feels good. But if you never perform, the cheering will stop eventually. If in a basketball game we go out there and we're warming up, the crowd's going crazy, they're all excited in the games, and we just continue to warm up and 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 never start the game, eventually those crowd is going to get quieter, they're going to sit down, they're going to start wondering what's going on, and then eventually they're going to leave. Don't sit there and just because it feels good. You have to move, and I would say move from this one quickly. Get who likes you, get who the ones that love you, understand who that is, and then move. And then move. Because if you just keep feeling, nothing happens. Nothing happens. The feel is important, but it's not the thing that you sit there and do. The feel is so important. If you don't have, like when Kobe Bryant when his dad told him he loves him regardless of what he does, that gave him permission to go do and fail. And if you listen to the interview that he talked about that, he doesn't say, he goes, it gave me permission to go fail, but also in my head, since I knew I didn't have to worry about not being loved if I failed, he goes, I'm going to dominate. And he moved to that do. Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to go become the best there is? How am I going to move to that mentality? Have it. Don't live in it. Don't live there. Get to here. And get to your actions. And build that. I don't care how, like I think I build mine through confidence to, and then vice versa. So you just do it back and forth. And you got to get that aspects of the maturity through your confidence. And through the maturity of your confidence, it's knowing, like confidence is maturity, but it's the maturity of knowing that you're going to go out there and do what you say you're going to do. It's having the maturity that if something happens, you still got a job to do. You still got something to do. You still have something to accomplish. It's keeping that level mindset. Not getting too high, not getting too low. It's keeping it level and keeping that stuff and having the maturity to go out there and do and figure out what your coping skills are to build that confidence. What is it that you do to go build that confidence? I always think like the results I'm getting today is what I did 6 months ago. So if my results are bad, it's what I did the last 6 months. And it's knowing what I do today, I'm going to reap in about 6 months from now. It's knowing that you're continuing to build that maturity in the aspects that you know that you're driving action to do that. And it's still going back to the feel stuff because this is the game time. This is when you're playing the game. This is the people you're performing for. This is when you're going out there to win the game. The ego aspects of the action. The ego aspect is just, it's knowing what you have to do and building that respect. In the sense of the building respect, I want to build the respect with the ones that love me and like me. That's where I'm trying to build the respect for. And when I have to build that respect, how am I going to build that respect? What am I going to do to earn the respect? I was telling Jeff, like one of the things in the alliance is, after being the top recruiter last year, I've built a different level of respect or popularity through the alliance. As a lion, that was not what drove me to do it. As an otter, I think it is. It's that popularity, build that respect. But as the results of getting, as a lion to get results and build that results, because the lion's thinking, what's next, what's next, what's next? You build that popularity because of what you did. I don't care which animal you are, build that respect for you. Build that popularity for you. When you go, there's a, if you ever watch like Rocky movies or Creed movies or watch there's a thing right now with two boxers are getting ready to fight and it shows them training and them in the gym. And if you ever watch, like I think back in the Rocky movie, one of my favorite ones when he fought Ivan Drago, and he was revenging his friend getting killed by him in the thing. In that movie, if you've ever seen it, think back to when he was training in Russia in the snow in that old barn, lifting up that stuff. Did they glorify that part? It looked fun, right? Like he was like they had the music going because he was intense. It was like they glorified that. If you talk to an athlete when they're going through that, that's not fun. What in this business, you got to start glorifying that part that's the work. Glorifying trick your mind to be in that. I remember that scene more than when Rocky knocked him out. Because that scene, what's motivated me. When you see that glorification of the work aspects, that's actually what you're doing. That's actually what your greatness inside of you does. Everyone's looking at that prize at the end, the winning the belt or whatever it is that you're chasing as the glorifying thing. If you ask any cleaner or any great player, what built them was the practice. What built them was what's in the gym. What built them was the mastering the mundane of this business. Yeah. And glorifying that stuff that you went through for that, because that's where you build the relationships. That's where the friendships go in. That's me and Terry Edwards becoming best friends. It's because we're in a battle together. It's battling through. It's not the prize. The prize is fun, but it lasts a couple minutes. We built that friendship in the trenches. We built that friendship and that bond in that barn in Russia to go fight Ivan Drago. I can hear the music. I wish I knew the song, but you have the music of Rocky just, and you're just like, come on, he's running the mountains, and that's where the fight's at. That's where the respect will be earned. That's where your popularity comes from. It doesn't come from that belt. That belt's the conclusion. People fall in love with the beginning. It falls in love with that. It's fighting that fight all the way through. It's fighting that fight to get through that. It's fighting the fight then to achieve the goal. If you're fighting for agency manager, it's fighting that fight now to get the glory. Then it's fighting the fight to get the executive board member. It's fighting that fight. The fight is where it happens. Walking across that stage and getting your ring is the honor of that fight, but the fight happened before. Glorify the fight. Get into the fight. Go out there. Your respect is coming from winning that fight. Your respect to the people that you love and like in your life is going through that. My respect from my kids, my colleagues, my friends came because I was willing to fight through that stuff. Not because of a ring that was put on my finger. That ring just says you were willing to fight through stuff. And then it's having the maturity and the confidence to do it again. And knowing that you're going to go out there and continue to fight, continue to do that, continue to go through that fight and build that relationship. I mean, I just think of the fights that my friends in the Alliance that have become best friends in the world with, is going through these fights, going through these aspects. I think back to when I played basketball, the guys that I played basketball with over the years, it's the fight, the things that we did together. Our bond is through that fight. It's having that second chance to have that same bond. And it's having the confidence to do it. One of the biggest, hardest parts was I had the likes and the loves of my teammates in high school, and then I had to go play college basketball, and I didn't have the likes, I didn't have the love relationships, so guess what? My respect and my maturity probably went down, and I had to earn that back. And then you go into corporate America, they don't care about any of that stuff, and they just beat you down, and just get you in that rat race, keep going around. And then all of a sudden, I find something like the Alliance and Andy and Jane Albright, and they bring me in and give me that fighting shot again, give me a locker room again with a group of guys and girls that want to go fight for the same type of thing, that were willing to put in the work, they're willing to go out there and do the fight, they're willing to go do that. Every single day, you build that confidence, you start building that ego in a good way inside of you. You stop talking about, when I talk about my past and when I played basketball and the successes I had there, I do it to not because I don't care about that. You know what I mean? The funny thing is there's a basketball court right over there. If we go out there and play basketball there, to every single person in this room, regardless of what I've told you that I've accomplished in basketball, I have to go prove it there again. And the same thing in this business. I have to go prove to myself. It's one of those things why I talk trash about that recruiting contest. No one's going to beat me. Just because I did it last year doesn't mean I automatically win this year. I have to go fight to win it again. I mean, and I'm going to win it again, so it's fine. Just to be clear, Kyle. But you have to back it up. If I don't win that contest, I can't say, how'd you do in 2019? No one cares. If Kyle somehow beats me and I say, what'd you do in 2019? He's going to laugh hysterically because it does not matter anymore. What you did in your past is great. I'm glad you did it, and I'm glad you were successful. But guess what? You're going to have to. You probably punched all these four buttons in that life. Guess what you need to do again? Punch those buttons here. Go show yourself you can do it again. Take that second chance. I think a lot of you out there feel like this is your second chance or your third chance or your fourth chance or you got a chance to do it. Start punching the buttons to get that fire within you going again to have that feeling. Because I tell you what, when I was playing basketball, I had a fire in me that I would do anything. Like I would get up at 5 a.m. to go into the gym to work out. And for me to get up at 5 a.m. now, I'm like, and I have teenagers. And when I was a teenager, if I was going to the gym to work out, I was no big deal. But I wanted to sleep to noon. Trust me, my kids have taught me teenagers like to sleep to noon. And in that aspect, but when you have a fire, the alarm clock doesn't matter. How you feel when you get up and you're tired doesn't matter. Splash some cold water in your face, you're good to go, I'm telling you. Just get to the sink. You're ready to go. Just fight through that in the aspects of lighting that fire inside you. Ignite that fire inside of you to go get what you want. You know, you watch Andy and Jane fly around on the jet. They fly down to Treasure Island down in St. Pete area. They look at those most beautiful sunsets. You say, I want that, I want that. Want the fight. You're not getting that without fighting the fight. And here's the thing. Stephen Davies told me this years ago. Whatever fight you're unwilling to take, your kids are going to have to take. Whatever punch you're unwilling to take, they're going to have to take. So what fight you're scared of, they're going to have to deal with if you're unwilling to do it. So next time you get a wall in front of you and say, oh my gosh, this is so bad, just think about it. Your kids, if you don't cross that or fight through that or push through that, they get to take on that fight for you. Scary. Hope you trained them better than you got trained to fight it. Hate to see them chicken out like you did. Hate to see that you don't show them the hard work level of to become great, to set the path for them to do the same thing, to show them how to fight through stuff, how to run from it. Oh, my daughters, Terry, they're scary competitive. Like they get mad when they lose, like crazy competitive. And it's like because it has to come from they just see me fight. Because I think to myself, like, they're not athletes. They don't play a sport, you know. But they're competitive all get out. And I'm thinking to myself, where did they learn that? And then it's like, and I was like, shoot, I guess I'm competitive. You know what I mean? And they're watching it and learning, but they're learning from the actions. They know the work that's been put in to get to that level. They know the work to understand that you have to fight. Don't be scared of the work. Don't be scared of the $250 to get your 20 appointments. Don't be scared of the $400 to get your 30 appointments. Don't be scared of the work. Love the work. Fall in love with that because it gives you what you're fighting for. It gives you the confidence and the maturity to go push through that stuff and deal with that stuff. Because guess what? The stuff you're going to get, it's going to go in there. We were joking last night in Greensboro about having a jet, and someone's like, yeah, it sounds like a lot of maintenance. And I'm like, that's the stuff I'm okay dealing with that. You know what I mean? I'd rather worry about my jet maintenance than how I'm paying my bills this week. It just sounds like a cooler problem. They're both problems. They're both financial problems. How do I pay for this maintenance? Which one do you, they're always there. Whatever level you get to, whatever income level, whatever success is to you, there's going to be problems there. You have to have the maturity to deal with them. Which ones do you want to deal with? Because you can eliminate these ones, the basic needs. You can eliminate that where it's not a concern in your life ever again. If you say I'm scared of the jet maintenance. I don't know if I want to deal with that. It kind of makes me think you're scared of the money. So Andy always says, you scared of the work or you scared of the money? Which one are you scared of? Sounds like the jet maintenance one, you're scared of both. Well, I'm not going to work hard because I don't have to worry about jet maintenance. Will you work hard to take care of your basics? Will you work hard and go do that? Ego, build it so you don't have to worry about it. It's a good thing. Don't be egotistical. Have the ego of the confidence that you're going to perform. You have that self-confidence that you build to build the meaning of what you are. To my kids, the one trait that they have to have, that I have to give to them, is that I'm a hard worker. I want them to take my work mentality on to whatever they decide to do. Because here's what, to be successful in anything they want to do, they're going to have to work their butt off to be great at it. No matter what it is. Even if they say they want to do this business and take over my business one day, it's not just handed to them. They have to work their butt off to earn it. They're going to have to work, because if I just hand it to them, it's going to fall apart. They have to work their butt off to do it. Whatever it is they want to accomplish, it is going to take discipline, it's going to have to take work, and they're going to have to fight through crap. And I want to be the one to set the pace to say it's okay to fight through that. Because I still love you regardless of whatever happens. That's there. So let's go out there. It's okay that you fail. It's okay that you didn't have that win now. It's okay that you lost again. It's okay that you lost again. It's looking at those losses. It's looking through what you do. It's looking through your activity book. If you say, I'm going to book 20 appointments this week and you only do 15, it's okay, but inspect it and get better. It's inspecting and looking at it. Have you ever heard Andy say you don't know how you look until you had your picture took?
That's right.
Inspect how you look. I mean, you ever walk out of the house, Terry, and you have that booger hanging out of your nose?
Oh, boy, yeah.
And then like Angela will come over to me and say, you know you got a booger? And she's like, do you not look in the mirror? I was like, no. But it was like right in front of me and I was looking at it, but I just never looked to see what's hanging on my nose. Yeah. Those things, you know what I mean? You don't know how you look until you get your picture took. You don't know how your week looks until you take a picture of your week and make adjustments. And make adjustments and make adjustments and make adjustments. Even if it is a loss, it's not really a loss because you're getting better. It's not really a loss that you continue doing that stuff. It's when I listen to like an athlete and they lost like a championship game and they say, I can't even go back and watch the film. In my head, they lost again. Because here's the thing. If you're playing a sport and you just lost and you're too coward to go back and see what happened and you did wrong, guess what's going to happen next season? You're going to see that team again. And if you don't go back and watch what they did to you, the things that you did bad, that you could improve on, you don't know that that's what caused it. So now you're going to you have that game again, and they can do the exact same thing to you. It's looking at your game of last week and saying, what did I do wrong? How do I get better, and how do I change that to get a different result? It's looking back at your week to make sure that you're going to be successful next week. And then the week after that, and getting better and chasing and chasing and chasing. So if the most appointments you ever booked in a week is 5, and you say, I'm going to be fanatical, I'm going to do 30 this week, not saying it's impossible, it's a big jump. It's a big jump. Let's move up. Put in everything you got, fight for that 30, see if you can do it. But if you come up short, just make adjustments. And what I'm finding when I'm talking to guys on my team trying to get to that 20 appointments, they're getting closer and closer to it. And as long as they continue to make adjustments, they'll hit it. And once they start doing 20 appointments, they're like, that's easy, I can do 25. Once they get to that 25, they're like, I can almost do, like I think of Brant Swindell, he books 25 appointments in like, feels like to me like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? He's like, goes in there, he turns on he has his, that first place trophy, the A, you guys know the I? When that light's on in his office, that's dial time now. So that's when he's making money and that dial light's on. And it's like, I was like, that light's never on, man, and you got like 30 appointments, what in the world? It's just, maybe I'm not walking down that area, but it's just like bam, bam, bam. But he can book 30 appointments in a week like no big deal. It's like second. But does anyone remember when he first got started, he was hiding in that broom closet because he was scared to make dials? Yeah. Like I didn't know our office building had a broom closet. He found a broom closet and hid in the broom closet so no one could hear him dial. To book one appointment because he was scared to fail. And then guess what he did in between that and now? The work. It's knowing that work to go through it. Don't be scared of that work. It's putting that action into your life. Putting that action to become a champion. Putting that action to become the best at what you do. Becoming that, chasing that dream. And it's chasing what it is you're chasing. It's getting that fire. It's that what spark is going to light that fire. And then finding capacity and abundance. Finding that capacity, finding what you're going to do. It's finding that, I always call it my Mount Rushmore of the Alliance. It's the guys to me that are my Mount Rushmore that I have to get around to learn from. You know, Andy and Jane Albrights, Fitz, Paul Roberts, Stephen Davies, the Leventoviches, Diane Lampy, the Mount Rushmore to me of people that I need to learn from, that have accomplished things that I want to accomplish. Where's your Mount Rushmore that you're going to continue to plug into to get that capacity? Where's your Mount Rushmore, the people that have gone through the trenches to help you get there faster? It's having those mentors in this business that you can launch. Who's your Mount Rushmore? Who are the ones that if you have something, who do you know to call? Who are you reaching out to? How are you getting the help from? When a certain situation up, you should know who your Mount Rushmore is to get that advice. You know, in the same audio I was listening of Kobe Bryant recently, he was talking about the second when he started in the NBA, Michael Jordan was like his big brother that taught him the ropes. That was his Mount Rushmore guy that he reached out to do that. And the crazy thing is, next thing you know, he hired his trainer. Then he copied things that he did because he took his Mount Rushmore and learned from that Mount Rushmore to become great. Where's your Mount Rushmore? Who's the one you're grabbing up to go find your greatness? Where are you going to get your greatness? It better be somebody great. I think way too often we reach to someone at the same level or slightly lower because it makes us feel good. It makes us feel liked. And likes are great, but they don't produce the results. They're necessary to get results. You need those people. But a lot of times the people that you're reaching out to, who do you think it is? Cab driver number 2. Because they make them feel good. You're doing so well. It's okay that you didn't do well in that thing. You'll get it better next time. You're doing well. You'll get it eventually. Instead of going to a Mount Rushmore person that will tell you how to slay that dragon, get past that issue quick. It may not feel good when Andy Albright tells me something to do, and I may be scared, and it may hurt. I may have to train harder. I may have to read a book. I may have to make adjustments in my life. I may have to do something that doesn't feel natural to do, something I haven't been trained my whole life. I may have to make changes in my life which are painful to get a different result. So are you willing to go find your capacity, your abundance of knowing your Mount Rushmore people that are going to push you to another level? and always reaching out to that person when it even doesn't feel good. Because you know you need to become the best at what you want to do. It's knowing that capacity to go out there and do it, and building the credibility to do what you say you're going to do. When you build that credibility to go out there and reach, those are the things that people look at, they'll show up for, they'll cheer you on. And they're saying, he's on fire, he's doing all the right stuff, I want to be like him. And they don't even think of it. They think of, he was an overnight success. Huh. Funny how that overnight success takes 10 years sometimes. Sometimes it takes 20. You know what it is? It's like, what was all that stuff before that? But you have your shot now. If you've never had a shot, you have your first shot now. If you've had shots in the past and they didn't work out, or you've completed it, but then you have a shot. You have your shot to go out there and get the fire within you burning to a level and become the person that you were put on this earth to be. You have that shot to go out there and do it. The question is, are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to show up when no one else is there? Are you willing to pick up the book when no one's watching you read? Are you willing to get on that conference call when you're home alone, not in front of like 20 people? You know, do you remember to do those things? Are you going to pick up the phone and set your appointments when your schedule says to do it? Even though no one's there watching you to say that you're doing it. Are you going to put $250 in to get 20 appointments? You're going to put $300 in to get 25 appointments. You're going to put $350 in to get 30 appointments. You're going to put the work in. You're going to do your side hustle. You're going to talk to the 5-foot rule of the people you come in contact with throughout your day. You're going to do your recruiting dials throughout the week. You're going to put in that effort and do it, and that's what people cheer. That's what people want to fight for. That's why people love Rocky movies. If they just showed him win a fight, But it's that fight, the work throughout. It's the fight to become the champion. In basketball, I think of the people that like I grew up watching, like a Michael Jordan, the Kobe Bryants, the great athletes of all time that achieved the peak pinnacles of what they're doing and stuff. And when they played, it's one of those things for me, not being a fan of either one of those teams, watching them, I hated them. It was like, they're just the opponent. They're just the opponent. After they retire, you gain respect because you learn what they actually did. You know what I mean? It's in the aspects that I growing up, my favorite player was a guy named John Starks, who most people probably don't even know who the heck he is. You know what I mean? But the one reason I love John Starks is because he started as a bag grocer and worked his way to the NBA. It's that fight. Now, he didn't fight, if you knew anything about John Starks, he didn't fight like Kobe. He wasn't in the gym at 3 a.m. He wasn't working on his mental game. He wasn't doing those things. But guess what? No one knows who he is either. Very few know who he is. But how many people know who Kobe Bryant is? How many people know who Michael Jordan is? How many people know who the greats of the greats? How many people know who the Tom Brady's are of the world? It's the greats of the greats, and what they love is the fight that they fought to become great. Get in love with the work. Get in love with the fight. Go out there and build that flame inside of you that you're looking for is burning, is ready to be lit. It's ready to be there. The gas is inside of you, just begging you to press the buttons to get that ignited to go out there, that you can go out there and run. It's inside of you to go out there and just do it. The Alliance needs you, each and every one of you, to be successful, to be another example of someone fighting through the crap, whatever it is you're dealing with, what other stuff you're going to have to deal with, to be another success story, to be another champion of the Alliance, to go out there, fight to eliminate poverty, fight to help other people eliminate poverty, and continue to fight to do that. You get that crowd, you get the likes, you get the respect of your peers by fighting that stuff. And the more people you help fight through that takes you to another level of respect as well. So you look at the Andy Albrights of the world, you look at the Fitzgeralds of the world, they've helped more people fight through that crap. They've fought through it, but they've also helped people fight through it. Continue to fight through it. You can't help someone fight through the crap that you have never fought through. So if you're not willing to fight it, how are you going to teach your team to fight through it? If you're not pressing these buttons to fight through it and get better and get that flame going inside of you, it's really hard to spark that flame inside someone else. And it's getting that spark to go out there and become that champion that's inside of each and every one of you. It's knowing that you're a champion. It's knowing that you have that fire. It's knowing that you were meant to win in this life. And it's proof. I told it at the men's seminar and everything. You won your first race ever. That's how you're here. And you won odds that no one else has ever seen.
That's right. Yes, sir. You got to explain it.
Your first race, you were in a race between 50 million other things.
Right.
And you beat them.
Yes, sir.
Proof is that you're here.
That's right.
If you lost, you would not be here.
Right.
The other 49,999,000. No one remembers. No one knows where they're at. They didn't win the race.
Right.
You were put here to win. You were put here to go fight that fight. You were put here to go win and continue to win. You faced already 1 in 50 million odds in your life, and you came out victorious. So why can't you beat 1 in 5 now? Why can't you pick up the phone now? Why can't you go win that fight now? You were set to win. You have a destiny inside of you to push to another level. And it's inside of you to get that flame inside of you to push to that destiny and go out there and do it. Right. It's that gas that pushes you to go out there and work. It's that gas that gives you the second chance in your life to become a champion. It gives you that chance to go out there and continue to fight, continue to do stuff, and be that person you were put on this earth to be. It's to be that greatness that's inside of you and let it out. You have the love, you have the likes in your life. It's okay to go fail. It's okay to have that. It's okay to light that flame and go out there and do it. It's to let that out. It's to let it to be the person you want to be. It's that person you keep telling yourself internally to be, to let it outside of you. It's to let you go out there and just fight that fight. And it's out there to become great. And I'm telling you, everyone has it. And you look back and you think back. I've been with the Alliance for 13 years now, and it's hard to even look back and talk about some of the challenges, because when you're in them, and I'm not saying they're little when you're in them, they're the most important, hardest thing in the world to do. But once you start getting the maturity and the battle tested and fighting through things, and you start moving away from it, and you look back at it, think of something you fought through in your life, and you've gotten through it, and you won. 10 years later, you'll look back at it and be like, huh, was it that big? It didn't kill you? You were probably better off afterwards. You felt better when you went through it. You felt better when you fought through it, and having that fire to fight through it. It's having that win after win after win. Create that winning mentality inside your life. Create that winning momentum inside your business and your life in everything that you do. Create that aspects of winning, 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 winning. And you just continue to win. You continue to have that momentum. And as you continue to make your dials of the job aspects and getting the 20 appointments, and you start, when you do reach that and you hit that as a win, continue to push to get to the 25, and then the 30. And then as you start building that confidence, you're going to get recognized for it. You're going to get those likes. You're going to get, paraded across the stage, and people are going to be like, oh, that's awesome, and they're going to clap for you. And all these people come up and want to give you hugs, and I'm like, ugh. Don't hug me. But then you fight through that, and it's like they make hand sanitizer. You could rub them all over you and stuff. But you just continue to have those wins, and you fight those demons, and you just become a champion. And I love when Fitz talks about that mantle. It's over his fireplace. When generations later are talking about that was Granddaddy Fitz, and he changed the whole environment of that legacy of that family. Are you going to be that mantle? Do you want to be on that mantle where you've changed the legacy of what your family stands for? Are you going to change that legacy to give your family something to look forward to? Are you going to change that expectation level from where your family's sitting at? I love when I hear someone say, I'm the first one inside my family to graduate from college, or I'm the first one to do this. Be the first one to do something great. And you say, well, my family already has greatness in it. They've achieved that. Take it to another level. Become greater than that. Set the bar. Take the bar low and continue to raise the bar up. Take the bar to a level that your family's never seen. Take it to where you can change the lives of people because you've set the bar for yourself so high that you inspire other people to come with you. I look at what Andy and Jane Albright do. They inspire me every single day because Andy continues to push that bar up. And I try to just stay right with them to stay inside of that and get it. He mentioned the other day, get close to me, it'll just start happening. You'll start winning. You'll start rubbing off on you. You rub up against it. So I try to stay close as I can so I can get that rub off. And the bar keeps being raised and raised and raised and continue to push. And watching him with that champion attitude, that champion mentality that continues to push and expand my vision to places that 10 years ago I didn't even know would even exist. Where my vision was 10 years ago to reach, I've already accomplished and surpassed. And it's because of a great mentor, the Mount Rushmore mentor in my life of an Andy Albright that continues to raise the bar. 10 years ago, what greatness was to me, I accomplished 5 years ago. So it's already passed. So thinking about what Andy's talking about now and pushing it to, I know I'll achieve that before I can, and I don't even know how it's possible today. I like saying I want a jet. I think it's cool. I don't know how it's possible. And I'll probably have one before I ever figure that out. And I'm okay with that. Stay close. Figure out who your Mount Rushmore is. Get close to them. Help them pull you with them. Help them continue to get you to greatness. Have them take you to the level you want to do. They will continue feeding that fire for you. They'll keep pumping that fire to you. It's great having mentors because I think of like an Andy and Jane Albright and all 5 of these buttons. They continue to spark so this fire within me stays alive because I stay close. If I was to isolate away from everything, I think I'd fall back on my morals on every single one of these things at some point. Stay close to that fire. Stay close to the Mount Rushmore of people that you want to get around, and they build that aspects for you of a champion. When you are close to people that are successful, you cannot lose. They won't allow you to do it. They won't allow you to fall into that mediocrity. They won't allow you to do that. They know the greatness inside of you too. Even if you're not even sure that you have greatness inside of you, they know it, they see it in you, and they'll pull it out of you. And they'll continue to pull it out of you to fight through that. Put in the work, go out there, continue to do that stuff, continue to put everything in there, continue to give it everything you got. Here's what I don't want to say. Here's where I don't want to be. When I die or when I'm done, I don't want to look back and say I didn't give it everything I had. I don't want to live with the regret to say what else could I have given it? What else could I have done? Where else could I have taken it? I have this amazing opportunity, and I let it slip aside. Don't look back and say you didn't take advantage of the opportunity you have. You didn't take advantage of the mentors that you have. You didn't take advantage of the opportunity. You didn't have to take advantage of being able to pour into people and give them that stuff and help people move forward. It's an honor of mine to be able to work with someone like Terry and Tia and walk in life with them and be in life with them. But to do that, I have to put in the work. If I don't put in the work, I haven't earned the right to even do that walk. It's putting in the work. Watching Andy and Jane put in the work that they've done over the last 25 years is giving them the right to pour into me, which I'm so grateful that he's done. And if you want to give back to your guys and you want to give back to your team and you want your team to respect you, put in the work. Get that work aspect in you to accomplish it. It will build everything. You are going to have to work your butt off to be great. And you have greatness inside of you, and you were put into to do it. It is not going to kill you. It is not going to kill you to work hard. honestly, I've traveled with Andy, and I've seen him. His how hard he works, and how tireless he works, and how much he goes. If any of you guys ever get the honor to travel with him and hang out with him, hopefully, I hope you see this one day. But he'll be talking to you and coaching to you, and then fall asleep mid-sentence, and he'll be out for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then when he wakes up, he finishes his sentence, and continues going through that. And I'm not sure. But it's the work. He works so tirelessly, till all of a sudden it's like, and then comes right back and finishes that sentence. And I'm not sure I've ever done that. I'm not sure he's done it, but he's heard stories about it. I've never heard someone tell me a story. I was riding with Andy Riddle, and he fell asleep mid-sentence and woke up and did it. That's like one of my goals, Terry. I want to be like in a car with you, and you're like, I was driving him around, and he fell asleep mid-sentence and fell asleep for 15 minutes and woke back up. Because that's what, know what I'm doing when I do that? I know I put in the work to go to find the exhaustion. I put into the level to find how far I can go. And I think Andy does that every day. And I'm just trying to figure out how to do it today. And then once I figure out how to do it today, I want to do it tomorrow. Figure out how hard you can push yourself. It is so much harder than you think you can. Because I think I'm pushing myself so hard every single day, and I still haven't fallen asleep in mid-sentence. And it makes me mad. So I know there's more inside of me. Find out how much more is inside of you. Let the lions see what's inside of you. Let the world see how great you can become and how much you can change this. You can change your life, you can change this company's life, and you can change the world because how much greatness you have inside of you. But you're not going to find that without working tirelessly and finding out how far you can push yourself. Put the work in today to celebrate it tomorrow. Put the work in. Find how great you are. Find how great you can push yourself, guys. It's been an honor here hanging out with you guys this week. It's just been awesome hanging out. Thank you, Andy and Jane Albright, for letting me come here and pour into this great company. It's one of those things that once we're done here, I'm getting back to work because I want to see if I fall asleep today mid-sentence. Hope you guys do too. Have a great week, guys.